A Monster Miata is a Mazda Miata and a 5-liter Mustang engine. You step on the gas and it throws you back in the seat and you go, my God, this thing's a monster. That's what a Monster Miata is. My passions always, since I was a kid, have always been about internal combustion engines. You know, I've been welding since I was a kid. I managed to scrape up enough money and buy a welder. I learned how to use drill press, grinder, all this stuff from my dad. When you're passionate about something, you learn, you seek better ways to do things. So I became very much a fabricator. Over the years, I just surrounded myself with cars. You know, just as long as the thing was broken, I could fix it. As a kid, my dad had Road and Track and MotorTrend and Auto Week laying around the house and was constantly reading through these articles about Carroll Shelby. My dad was a friend of his and learned to drive with him. And so really had a profound influence on how I looked at cars. And I always assumed that a big Ford V8 in the front of any car was an exceptional thing. The Monster Miata came about with a customer that came into the shop. He had a new Miata with very low miles on it, and he said, I want a Ford V8 put in this thing. It was his idea. The basic structure of the car was very sound. They spent a lot of time up at Mazda North America making sure that the thing had torsional strength. So it became apparent that when you put all that torque in there from a V8, that the car was up to the task. It was light, rear-wheel drive, and it had enough room in the engine compartment for a V8. Immediately just started tearing into this car, hit it with a hammer, cut it with a saw, got the thing in there. There were a lot of choices for engines to go into this little Miata. I think the V8 was the best choice. You know, turbos and superchargers on those little Miata engines, we did it all. You know, just trying to get those little Miatas up to speed. But when you put a V8 in it, whole different deal. We used a 5-liter Mustang engine. It changes the complete attitude of the car. Mostly you can feel the girth or the weight of the engine, but it changes the weight distribution just slightly. Everybody thinks the car is going to understeer, it's going to push, there's no way it's going to maintain that excellent drivability that the Miata has. But we ended up with like a 52-48 weight distribution, and all that extra torque applied to the back of the car just makes it want to go into the corner neutral. You can steer it with the gas pedal, you can oversteer, understeer, and you can drift it all day long. We've been to the drag strip, we've been to the road racing tracks, Willow Springs, Laguna Seca, Buttonwillow. Usually with a stock 5-liter Mustang engine, you can expect somewhere around a 12.5 quarter mile. 0 to 60, you know, just under 5 seconds. Now if you put a high performance 5-liter in, obviously those numbers change. Back in the mid-90s, when we were getting up and running with the Monster Miata and it looked like it was going to last a long time, the Mazda engineers came down. It was quite an experience meeting the guys that designed it, engineered it, and so we just threw the car keys to the shop mule. At the end of the day, they came back laughing, just said, you haven't taken away anything from what we had originally wanted, but you added so much more. I think the future of Monster Miata is continuing to develop 2 different engines that are out there. The Ford V6, that all aluminum modular engine, is just perfect, 300 horsepower. I'm really looking forward to that. Obviously the LS platform, working on the LS project right now. We've got 5-bolt hubs, which I'd really like to bring to market. We came up with a body kit that allows you to put a lot bigger rubber on the car. We're making the molds for it right now. Should be available late 2012. I can't tell you how many of these Monster Miatas I've built, but it's in the hundreds, and I have not ever been bored at all. I love fabricating, welding, engineering, making stuff better. And every day, I look forward to coming to work. I look forward to talking to my customers. They're wonderful people. A lot have turned into personal friends. And it's just a great place to come to work, and I really look forward to the future. Let's say you want to do a conversion to your Mazda Miata. My kit conversion cost $3,900. the engine that you're going to need. $2,600 for a good takeout engine with the wiring harness and the brain. You're going to need a transmission, add another $1,000 there, $1,500, and you're going to need a 7.5 differential out of a Cougar T-Bird. You're going to have to supply an exhaust system to the car. If somebody were going to bring the car to our shop, it would be roughly $17,000, $18,000.